The area of hostile work environment, discrimination in the workplace, EEO practices, what constitutes a hostile work environment, what constitutes unlawful harassment, is always evolving. And certainly in the last 15, 20 years, there's been an ever-increasing amount of knowledge, both on the part of employers and employees, about what should and shouldn't occur in the workplace. One of the things that the courts have done in the last several decades has been to impose requirements on employers to make sure that harassment is basically minimized before it even starts. And the employers are required to provide a workplace that's free of discrimination and harassment. And of course, once you receive a complaint involving those areas, you need to investigate and take remedial action. There are oftentimes things that employers can do in advance to try to prevent any of this type of behavior from ever coming to fruition in your workplace. And these are key steps that any employer can take pretty inexpensively and without a lot of investment of time that really don't make sense to ignore. And those include, for example, having a written policy. Written policy usually can be contained in an employee handbook or manual, be distributed to all employees, and that handbook or manual should explain that this is a workplace that's free from discrimination, that there's an investigative procedure in place where the employees should go if they need to make a complaint. We certainly could assist you in drafting policies if you don't have one in place already, or in reviewing your policies and revising them accordingly. In addition, there's training that can be provided, certainly to management and supervisory personnel, if not to your entire staff. And management training is also something that we routinely give to employers and to their staff so that we can explain and have a verbal back and forth, a discussion about what's appropriate, what's not appropriate, what people might think is okay is really not okay. And I also explain the complaint procedure because that's critical for employees to understand. If harassment is occurring in the workplace and people don't know where to go to complain, that could be basically a situation that could fester to the point of having maybe 1, 2, even more employees bring claims against the company. So there are very easy proactive steps that can be taken in advance that certainly we would always recommend employers do. It's almost like an internal or self-evaluation. And you want to make sure that's done in accordance with the current state of the law, which of course is always evolving, but also something that is effective and employees are able to actually use.